The two women who live with R. Kelly are defending him and their relationship with him in the strongest terms. 21-year-old Azriel Cleary and 23-year-old Joycelyn Savage told us they love Kelly, while their families claim he has brainwashed them.
In an interview you'll see only on CBS this morning, the two women told us there is nothing inappropriate about their arrangement with the 52-year-old singer. What is your relationship, both of you, with R. Kelly?
We're with him. That's our relationship.
We're with him. Yeah, that's what it is.
And we're in a relationship with him.
Right.
You just said it.
A very strong relationship as well.
Both of you?
Yes, most definitely.
You know, how do we say this without being inappropriate? Is this a three-way relationship, or do you each have a separate relationship with him? How does this work?
Well, both
I'm
of
curious.
those.
Yeah.
We both have our individual relationships with him, and
Right.
we all are family all together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about, Azriel, going to movies and sitting watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually? Well, first of all, I'm not here to talk about my personal life.
Okay.
And I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't, but
Okay, then.
No,
No,
you're
next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's
and
not
I
a
think
different
it's a fair
circumstance. There are
question.
people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your
No.
parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azriel. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azriel, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was 17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos
Yes.
with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because if they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Joycelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what
Yes.
she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
Your
they're
parents,
scamming.
you're saying the same as saying?
Well,
you're
both of
saying-
our parents are basically out here. They're trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story to me
well,
last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
Exactly.
Yeah, you sound very angry with your parents. You sound very angry and very pained. Tell me, Azriel, why you're crying. Tell me.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. You guys believe in some facade that our parents are saying. This is all lies for money. And if you can't see that, you're ignorant and you're stupid as because you want to be. All because that's the world we live in. Negativity sells. Gossip is what sells. Rumors are what sells.
Exactly.
But Joycelyn and Azriel, this is more than gossip. This is more than just rumors. These are decades of allegations against Robert Kelly.
We're not here to talk about decades. We're here to talk about what our parents are doing right now.
Right.
And what they're doing right now is all for money.
Right.
Now, both sets of parents deny ever asking Kelly for money or receiving money from him. You know, as I watched as I was talking to them, because I had talked to the father, there are two very different stories. I'm sure Mr. Cleary, if he watches this morning, his head will explode because he has a very different version of what these young women are saying. And his team had told us that R. Kelly would not be in the room. After the interview started, he was around the corner behind them. They couldn't see him. But at points during the conversation, he would cough very loudly like that, so they were aware that he was there.
He wanted them to know that he tried to stop the interview backstage a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of times. Laz, who has taken those amazing photos that you've seen, is my makeup artist, who's also a very good photographer, as you also see. R. Kelly came up to him and said, "Should I stop this interview? Should I stop this interview?" He never did. So the girls at some point were certainly aware that he was there. And I just wanted to say, as a mother, get your things, let's go. You are 21, you are 23, and he is 52 years old. And I know many people believe age is just a number. When you're looking at these young women, they parrot a lot of what he is saying.
It's ugly to watch, but abuse is ugly. And the manipulation that continues, and the powerlessness and trying to feel powerful, and the blame, it's a bad situation. I think one day, years from now, everybody will look back on this and just say it's very sad, very tawdry, and just very, very ugly. I hope that what comes of this is that people go to the websites, and we should post them too, that his ex-wife talked about, where you can look at the signs of whether you're in an abusive relationship or not, because you'll find out, hey, I'm in 8 of these 10, and then you realize I need help.
Yes, now, they do not think they're being abused or manipulated or brainwashed, but again, they're 21 and 23.
Wow. You know what? That's sad to watch and listen to. Very, very sad. I'll give my intros. I'm TonyaTko. I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I help you learn how to love yourself and each other. Right now, we just finished watching a little snippet interview of Azriel and Joycelyn, who it's been stated in the media that they've been brainwashed as a part of this sex cult with R. Kelly, etc., right? And let's talk about this. You know, when I was getting my certification in clinical hypnotherapy, one of the things that we talked about was there are 5 components to brainwashing a person, right? And so these are the 5 right here from what I remember off the top of my head. If I mix up one or so, please let me know in the comments. But one is to deny a person food and protein, especially protein, to deny them food and limit the amount of protein that they get. 2, deny them sleep. 3, isolate them from other people. 4, have no one around to be able to verify a different reality. So they're caught in a reality of the brainwashing. That's 3. I'm sorry, that's 4. And then number 5 is for there to be a realistic threat or fear of a realistic threat. And so there are, like, one of my teachers actually felt like the story of Beauty and the Beast was a story of brainwashing and a person who then came to love their captor because she was starved, she was isolated, there was a threat against her or her family, her father. Remember, her father was not going to live if she didn't continue this thing in this castle, etc. And then she had all those dancing teapots and stuff all around her. So there's one part of me that's listening to this and is looking at these girls, and I'm like, look, at this point they're grown, they're no longer minors, and they're saying that this is where they want to be. So what can you do? But then the other part of me is like, I know that as a parent, you go to the ends of the earth and ruin yourself to save your child, because at the end of the day, that is your child, And so here we have a situation where I know about the components of brainwashing. And then she said he was back behind the curtain going, "Arr!" letting them know he was present. This is a really sad situation, because what can you do when there's a person that loves their captor? Stockholm syndrome you know? And Stockholm syndrome happens for a very real reason of survival, because a person has to alter their reality into being able to survive, so that they have to identify positively with their captor. Otherwise, because at the end of the day, the human body, it is designed for survival. And if there is an imminent imposing threat upon you in which you are living in this threatening situation, your mind is going to alter itself so that you identify with your captor, that you love your captor, and you're able to tolerate this abuse. Look, your if the human body, if the human body's if the human body is designed for survival, that doesn't mean that the human body is designed for optimate function and optimal happiness and congruence to the highest iteration of the calling of your soul. No, it is here to stay alive, and it will help alter your mind. You know, it's like because you all know, like I say in my videos, I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And I do, if you haven't gotten your complimentary MP3 on my website, go to my website, TonyaTko.com, and get your complimentary Relax MP3 and look through my shop where I have other hypnotherapeutic MP3s to help you alter and shift your life. And the alterations that occur in the hypnotic state, depending on how deep you go into hypnosis and how often you replicate it, can be life altering and and never changing. Once you change that subconscious mind, that's it. You now have a new makeup. As you know, when it comes to the synapses of the brains, if you know about neuroplasticity, your mind will expand or contract based on the information that you're either learning or not learning. So you will form new connectors inside of your mind to help facilitate new learnings. And so your mind does change. That's what neuroplasticity is all about. The buoyancy of the mind, the changing and the shifting of your brain matter. So your mind will alter itself. Like I tell people, and I tell them, listen, when you do one of these MP3s, you're a different person coming out than you were going in, so that you won't even remember why it is that you actually had this anger in the first place. This was especially like with the MP3 that I did on forgiving. And if you go and you read the reviews, there are people who were angry at a person. You do the hypnotic MP3, and then afterwards, you don't even really remember, did I really have the anger? Why did I even buy this MP3? It shifts and it changes you. Just like being captive in a situation like this will cause you to shift and change, so that you can't even acknowledge that there ever was a different reality. So my heart breaks for these young ladies, and they're talking about their parents want money. So there was something that I was confused about. Tell me if you picked up on this, right? So Azriel says that her parents encouraged her to take sexual photos and videos with R. Kelly when she was underage, and that her parents said, give us $20,000 or we're going to leak these photos or these videos, and then asking for 10,000 more, etc. I didn't really understand that part. I would need to listen again. So that means that there are videos of her underage with R. Kelly. And if her parents had such videos, why not release them now? Make them a part of the case. Get him done with now. So it's like, okay, did you or did you not have underage or non-consensual contact? Because a person who is not of an age to consent, and in that state, there's a window of 5 years. If you're more than 5 years older than a person and that person is 17, because I believe the age for consent is, we read this, but I don't remember if it's 16 or 17. However, there's a stipulation where a person, 17-year-old cannot consent to you if you're more than 5 years older than him or her. So then she starts screaming, talking about, if you believe this, you're stupid. Remember, we talked about this manipulative tactic in the last video. And then, yeah, this is just a sad, sad situation. What do you do? What do you do? I'm gonna look for your comments below. It's, you know, these are real people's lives. These are real people's lives. Man, there's so much swimming through my mind right now because, and you know what, this just goes to speak to a parent's love. Because even when your child is saying, no, I don't need help, as a parent, you see and realize that something is off and wrong, not right with your child, and you still continue to assist. You know, like even in the documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, there was Dominique who was in the hotel, and she was like, "Nah, I'm good," etc., etc. And she was like, "No, I'll see whatever, you know, see you later. You gotta go, whatever, right?" And then when the mother finally rescued her, she broke down in tears, crying in the car, thanking her mother for saving her. So it's like, yeah, this is a complex, complicated situation. And we're going to be talking, we're going to have another exclusive interview coming up where we actually are going to be talking with one of the attorneys who are handling one of the families in this case. I'm not going to say too much more. I want it to be a surprise. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, like the video, thumbs up, share, put your comment below. I'm going to be in the comments talking with you all. Make sure that you're subscribed to my mailing list on my website. Get your complimentary copy of the Relax MP3. And on that note, we're going to jump out of here. I'm TonyaTko. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? Love yourself. And part of loving yourself is putting yourself on the line for your children. Look, there's nothing that can happen on this earth that will stop your child from being your child. You know, and putting it on the line for a person who you know needs you, who you know without a shadow of a doubt. Now, I'm not talking about just anybody, or a friend or whatever. Sometimes you have to cut your losses and be like, look, I got to take care of myself. That's a form of self-love as well. However, when we're talking about your child, a person, a human being who you brought into this world, who you created, putting it on the line for them. And I would have to say, you know, there comes a point where you have to find balance, you know, where, especially if you have other children, you know, you got to find balance. However, make sure that you give it a good, honest, earnest try and effort to really do what you know, what you feel in your spirit is right to do. You know, so on that note, I'm going to jump out of here. I will see you all in the next video. TonyaTko, and I'm out. Peace.